What's up, retrograde warriors? Michael here with the Hope Scope for October 6th through the 12th, 2014. And yes, it's true. Mercury is retrograde. Now, I do not want to be a Mercury retrograde alarmist anymore. When I first heard about Mercury retrograde, it was from other people. I didn't really know what it was, and I would hear them saying, "Oh my God, Mercury retrograde! Ah, it's Mercury retrograde! Ah, how'd your kids, how'd your wife?" And I just kind of thought it was this horrible thing that Mercury did every so often throughout the year, and we all needed to just run and hide and cease to exist. But the more I experience Mercury retrograde and awareness of Mercury retro, I'm seeing that there's tons of positive things that come along with this period. So it's not something to be feared, but rather utilized and not letting it, use you. Use the retrograde. So I actually learned this week that there's something called a shadow period for Mercury retrograde, where the week before Mercury retrograde and the week after Mercury turns direct, you can still feel the effects of Mercury retrograde. So I didn't know this, and it kind of dawned on me because a week before Mercury went retrograde, I tried to upload last week's Hope Scope, and it wouldn't work. I had some very special guests, I was very excited to put it out there, and it wouldn't upload, and then the computer that I had recorded it on went berserk and started flashing a file folder. So if anybody knows what that means on a MacBook, please drop me a line, let me know. So I'm just waiting for Mercury retrograde, to be over and wait for it to fix itself. And I was like, you know what, no big deal. I'll wait a few weeks and then maybe I'll post it. No big. Then the day before Mercury retrograde, I went to go see what time it was, and I pulled my phone out of my pocket, and I don't know if Mercury retrograde possessed me or what happened, but I threw this phone across a parking lot. Literally threw it across a parking lot. And I was like, what is this? Mercury retrograde doesn't start till tomorrow. Well, now we know. The shadow period. Now again, I'm not going to be a Mercury retrograde alarmist like I've been in the past, because I'm learning how amazing it is. But, we need to be aware of it. We need to be aware that for 5 weeks, we could really feel these effects. And since Mercury is the planet of teaching, communication, the mind, all of those areas can get somewhat hazy or backwards, and we can have a lot of miscommunications or snafus and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I'm learning to really focus on the positive aspects, to bring more positivity about during this time, and that's what I want to do. So the first thing to look forward to, because this Mercury retrograde period is traveling through Libra Deacon 3. I don't know what the hell that means, but apparently it's good because there's no harsh aspects. And because Jupiter rules this Deacon, for some reason, we might actually, during this retrograde cycle, be urged to go out and clean up the planet. We might actually get that fire under us to go outside and start purifying our environment, our city parks, different areas that people spend time in. I mean, really just beautifying the earth and replenishing it. And I was reading that if we can focus during this Mercury retrograde on purifying our minds, it will be reflected on our planet in, the outer world. So start with the inner world, purifying all of this up here. It's said that during Mercury retrograde, we jump from our logical mind, our left brain, into our right brain, and we become much more intuitive, much more feeling-based. And so whatever feelings you're getting, don't try to analyze them. Don't try to make them make sense. Just go with what you're feeling during this retrograde cycle. Another thing to look out for during this Mercury retrograde cycle is people from our past. And again, I thought it was no coincidence that I had my 10-year high school reunion the day Mercury went retrograde. I think it was moments after Mercury officially went retrograde, I had my 10-year high school reunion. I feel so old. It was lovely though. Hi all my Cactus Shadows friends. So anyway, this Mercury retrograde is going to be very positive. Go out there, try to purify your mind, try to purify your space, look out for people from the past, but really try to just keep all of this cleansed and working well, because you're going to see how it reflects in the outer world. Now, also, because Mercury is about learning, during this retrograde period, we are possibly going to want to shed information, or share information rather, with others, disperse knowledge about people, because that's what Mercury's all about, and something to do with Jupiter really amplifies that. The thing is, we're not going to have much tolerance for stupidity. So if you know some stupid people, I mean, I hate saying that, but people that do stupid things, you might want to steer clear of them, because we are going to have like a zero stupidity tolerance during Mercury retrograde. Just saying, just throwing it out there, but try to be as much like Gandhi as you can be. That's another thing that I read. During retrograde, it's just best to emulate Gandhi. Don't try to fight, don't try to argue. All of that's going to be blown up out of proportion. Just really stay calm and chill and be the chill you want to see in the world, okay? So, yes, that's super exciting. We're going to be teaching people during retrograde, but also we have a full moon coming up this week on Wednesday, and this is a full moon in Aries, fire Aries. So what this means, all full moons are a time to release what's not working for us, get ready for, the new moon cycle, and just kind of shed things that don't make sense anymore. But most importantly, during this full moon on Wednesday, it's about being truthful. Be truthful to yourself. Be truthful with other people. It's about a time of transparency and just really coming into our own truth and being able to freely express our truth. Where before we might be hiding our truth or suppressing what we really want to say, now is a time to just let it all out. Be kind. Remember, Gandhi during retrograde, be like Gandhi. But be truthful. Be honest. And any manipulative tactics or any manipulative behavior is not going to fly well during this full moon. And again, the full moon, just like Mercury retrograde, has its own little shadow period where it's like 3 days before and after the full moon, you can feel its effects. So pretty much this whole week, since the full moon is smack dab in the middle, this whole week is about living in our truth. What kind of truth do you still have pent up inside of you? What do you have to tell people that you weren't telling them? Think about that this week, because it is a great time to kind of step out of our masks and be ourselves and say what we need to say. So that being said, don't manipulate others. Don't be a part of any manipulative behavior. It's not going to be good this week. This is not a week to manipulate. I guess no week is a week to manipulate, but be very careful this week with all of that stuff. So because Mercury retrograde is usually time about going inside, healing things, rediscovering things, and revisiting things, I thought this would be a great week to use my Healing with the Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. So exciting. I love these cards. They're so simple but profound and very accurate. So I thought they would help us through our retrograde, our first week of retrograde. So as always, I'm just setting my intention that everyone watching this video is going to gain some insight from these cards, is going to get something to help them through this week, help them through this retrograde period, and just make it more easy on them and just kind of more of a breeze, let's say. And so I'm hoping that you will find something in these cards to help you through this week. Now, in the beginning of the week, I'm feeling led to you. Middle of the week, let's see. There. And the end of the week and the weekend, we'll say you. Okay, let's see what we got. For the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday, we have miracles. Ooh. Okay, this is awesome. Do you believe in miracles? I believe in miracles. And I think miracles should be on the radar in the beginning of the week because it looks like some major heavenly occurrences are taking place. And we are going to really receive some blessings. So if you've been praying for a miracle, if you've been waiting on some kind of miracle, guess what? You might just find it in the beginning of the week. Now, if you're in a position where you think there's just no hope and that there's nothing that can fix the way things are going and it's just downhill, this would be your time to pray for a miracle. Expect that miracle to come through. Because this card is upright, it's saying that miracles are going to be prevalent in the beginning of the week. So just really set your antennas to look for the miracles all around you. And again, if you're hoping on a miracle or waiting on a miracle, pray for that miracle in the beginning of the week, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Now for the middle of the week, we have divine timing, and divine timing is reversed. So what this means, to me, is that there's some kind of block happening, or it's just telling you to pay attention to not forcing divine timing. That's the way I would read this. I feel like in the middle of the week, we all have things that we want to accomplish. We have things that we want to really see through to completion or just kind of tie up. And I feel like what this card is saying is that there is divine timing at play for you. So if you feel like some things are not going along schedule or according to schedule the way your schedule would have them go, be patient. Don't force divine timing because it's something that can't be forced. It's something that has to happen naturally and through the divine mind. You know, God knows timing way better than we do and when things need to happen. So if you see that things aren't happening the way you want them to, just have faith that divine timing is at hand, and possibly in the middle of the week is just simply not the perfect time for you to see the results that you are hoping for. So in the middle of the week, if you're expecting things to go through or to happen and they don't, just know that don't force it. It's just not its time. Have patience and set the intention that you are giving this whole issue to God and the angels and divine timing, and just let it be. Disconnect from it because it will come through when it's meant to. Okay, so in the middle of the week, let that happen. Let things be with divine timing and not human timing. And for the end of the week, the weekend, oh no, this is what I meant to do. Truth and integrity, there we go. So again, the full moon in Aries, middle of the week, this is a time of truth, being totally truthful with ourselves and others, and really standing in our integrity. And I feel like we're going to see this toward the weekend, where our truth is being put to the test, or our integrity is being tested. So don't compromise yourself, and don't compromise your truth for anyone or anything. If you've got something to say and it resonates, this weekend especially is the time to let it be said, to act from your own truth, and to really, you know, be in integrity and know your own integrity so that you can act from it. Don't let anybody sway you. I feel like, you know, just like this moon, this full moon warns against manipulative behavior, I feel like toward the weekend, you might just be dealing with some manipulative people. Okay, so don't let them sway you from your truth. Do not let them sway you from what you know to be the best course of action for yourself and for all others. Really stick to your gut, to your own intuition and your own integrity during the weekend, and you're going to be very pleasantly surprised at how well your truth is received and how your actions definitely speak louder than words. So pay attention to that. Get into your own integrity for the end of the week and your own truth. And I feel like this is going to be a very productive Mercury retrograde. I feel like we're all going to make major leaps and strides and really come out of it knowing our own selves better and really being much more confident with our truth. So anyway, I feel like I've said enough. If you guys would like to book a private reading with me, please feel free to do so. You can hit me up at seasonsreadings@gmail.com or check out my Facebook page, Seasons Readings. I'm very excited. I have a website in the works, so I will keep you guys posted with that info. And this week, if you would really like to get to the bottom of how Mercury retrograde is affecting you, because remember, it affects all of us differently depending on our natal chart and what's going on when we were born, hit me up. I have a great reading, a Mercury retrograde reading that goes over how Mercury retrograde is going to affect you. How Mercury retrograde will show up in your communications, in your dealings with electronics and technology, and how it will be dealing with your travel arrangements and with you getting from place to place. It'll also be a nice little overview of how to best move forward with the best kind of energy. So I think it's really a great investment. It's only $15, the lowest price I've ever had. So please take advantage of that, and I will get it to you in a PDF document. I'm not really sure how many words. It will be a good amount of words, though, I promise. Just like when I talk, when I'm typing, I can't stop. I'm just a very chatty, typey Kathy. Anyway, I'm sending you guys so much love for this week ahead, sending you so many retrograde blessings, and until next time, I love you so much. Mwah! Have a great week, guys.